Hello and welcome to part 3 of Who You Hire to Sell Your Home Matters. This week I'd like to examine the cost of overpricing your home in a stable market. If you recall, 2 weeks ago I introduced some statistics regarding homes on market versus homes that have sold year to date. And if you remember, I mentioned that only 40% of the homes that were listed year to date have sold. So 60% haven't sold, only 40 have. More importantly, and this is where I tied in the principle of price elasticity, if you recall, high end of the value range versus the low end of the value range, because no home has a fixed price. So of those 40% that have actually sold year to date, this is very important. More than half of those homes, okay, 60 to 70% of them have incurred 2 or more price reductions, some as many as 5. So what does that mean, and how does that tie into overpricing your home in a stable market? Well, what happens to these homes, to the majority of them that have sold with multiple price reductions, is that they listed too high, okay? Either the realtor or the client or both felt they needed too large a buffer as to market value or their high end of the value range. And what happens is, if this buffer is too large, okay, in excess of say $10,000, then the buyers are going to come, look at your home, say, yeah, it's a nice home, but it's overpriced comparatively speaking to what else we're looking at out there. So they'll keep looking. Homeowner and seller, or homeowner, and agent realize this after, say, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Then they decide to reduce the price to where they probably should have been when they first listed, okay, within $10,000 of what would have been their high end at the time. And I say what would have been because it's no longer. What happens after the first 4 weeks of your listing period is that the interest begins to wane on your home, and as the interest wanes, so does the perceived value. So after 6 to 8 weeks, when a typical agent and homeowner makes that first price reduction, it's really all for naught because they've already missed, the train's left the station. So their perceived value is no longer where it was where it could have been when they first hit the market. So now they're playing catch up. And this is why the majority of these homes are having to incur 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 price reductions, because they keep trying to catch up to the perceived value that the market has of their home because they listed it too high. So, and this also explains why I want to introduce another statistic, that being days on market. Last 12 months in the Kamloops and District Real Estate Board, the average single-family home has taken 113 days to sell. That's a long time, okay? So this supports the statistics that all these homes have had to incur multiple price reductions. So they finally, on average, catch up to that perceived value after 113 days. But one thing's for sure, they're selling at the bottom end of their value range. If you don't get your home sold in the first 6 weeks, you're not going to be in the top end of your value range. By the way, did I mention that my homes, the homes that I've sold in the last 12 months, all sold within 46 days? Okay, so you compare that to 113 and ask yourself, okay, who do you think's getting more money for their home? Eric's clients or everybody else? I'll talk to you soon. Take care.